Welcome back to another reading and correcting with me, Kendar, the Tiger Writes, and Ty, the Tiger Supervisor. These are where I read a chapter from one of my stories and correct it as I go. If you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. And if you are looking to support me, that is on my Patreon. Today we're doing chapter 39 of Once Broken. The sounds returned to the forest as Alex caught his breath. Tristan was still on him. Alex was still in him. He had no idea how that had happened, other than the obvious. He cracked an eye open and shut it. Tristan was looking at him with a gentle smile. The warmth making his brown eyes glitter. His breathing sped up, but not for the reason it had a second ago. This couldn't be real. Tristan didn't care. He didn't submit this way. This was a trick, a game, a mask. It's okay, Alex. It's real. Of course, he knew what Alex was thinking. Tristan was responsible for a lot of the code running in his head. Tristan moved up, and Alex shivered at the cool breeze and how lonely it felt to be without his Somalian's touch. As much as he couldn't believe what just happened, he didn't want it to be over. He didn't want to go back to the distance, the coolness. Tristan turned Alex on his side and pressed his furry chest against Alex's back. A muscular arm draped over his side. Alex had so many questions. He was afraid they'd all pour out at once if he opened his mouth, so he didn't ask any. In spite of his fear, he relaxed against the warm body. He opened his eyes, but didn't move. He didn't want to risk Tristan believing Alex didn't want this. The only thing of note in his field of vision was the metal cage. Did he really put you in there? Tristan moved, rested his muzzle on Alex's shoulder. Yes. The word was flat. The intonation was pure Tristan, but the Somalian was trembling. For how long? Silence, then a shrug. As long as it took for me to get myself out of it. It was the first lock I learned how to pick. Alex tried to imagine being in there as a child, being scared, calling for his father and being ignored. He shuddered. How could anyone treat a child like that? Tristan's hand moved to his stomach, and he held him tightly. My father thought it was the only way we'd learn to be self-reliant. He believed depending on anyone made us weak. That explained why you tried so hard to make me leave. Yes. The word were breathless, shaky. Tristan kissed Alex's arm. Thank you for being stubborn. Alex tensed at the praise. I'm terrified this is something to manipulate me. I understand. I never gave you a reason to trust me. I do trust you. Alex was certain of that. No. You trust that I'm going to do what is best for me, and that so long as that includes you, you'll survive along with me. It's all I've ever shown you, how I've treated you. Alex wanted to protest, but the words died before they came out. Tristan had always done exactly that. I know this won't mean much, Tristan continued. Not right now, but I swear to you, Alex, things have changed. Things will be different. I don't want you as my weapon, as a thing I own. I want you as my lover, as my equal. I don't know how to do that yet. This is as new to me as it is to you. My father went out of his way to make sure I'd never care for anyone, and what I taught myself of caring was so I could use it against others. I'm still sorting out what it means to care for someone. Alex closed his eyes and shivered. He had no idea if he wanted that, which was ridiculous. He'd put himself through hell to find Tristan, thinking there was someone in there who cared for him. But he'd learned to live with the loneliness, to now be offered it all was overwhelming. What if he did something wrong and Tristan decided he wasn't worthy of his love? Tristan pulled away and Alex grabbed at his arm, letting go of it immediately. He didn't get to touch Tristan. Tristan stopped moving. Alex? He asked after a long silence. Please don't go. Tears fell, and he cursed himself for them. Tristan had taught him better. Where the fuck had it gone? I'm just getting your jacket. You're shivering. It's okay. Just hold me, please. He couldn't help the plaintiveness in his voice. Where was everything Tristan had taught him about never showing weakness, about always? Tristan's arms were around him again, holding him against his chest. I'm never leaving you, Alex. If you don't believe anything else, believe that. Alex nodded. He wanted to believe it, but he couldn't quiet the voice in the back of his head telling him he didn't deserve this. Tristan would realize it soon enough and then move on to someone else, someone better. He said we when talking about your father making you self-reliant. Did he do the same to your brother, to Justin? Talking kept him from hearing that voice. Tristan's answer was hesitant. Yes. As soon as Justin was too big to fit between the bars, he put him in there. My father never understood that what worked on me might not work for him. Fit through? Alex had a horrified thought. How old was he when your father started torturing him? How old were you? I was young. I don't remember how young. Justin was just a baby when he took us. I had to carry him the entire way here. This region doesn't have noticeable seasons, so keeping track of the years wasn't possible. But Justin was too young, far too young, for what my father did to us. I can't stop talking about it. No, Tristan whispered. Then his voice was stronger. You can ask me anything, any subject. I won't have secrets from you, not anymore. He paused, and Alex let him. It's just harder than I thought to think about Justin, about my father. I haven't processed his death, either of their death. How? Alex hesitated. Tristan had said anything, but did he mean it? You might as well find out now. How did your father die? I killed him. You killed him? The dismay lasted only as long as it took for the words to leave his mouth. Of course. Tristan had killed him. If for no other reason than that cage, Alex would have killed the man for putting Tristan in it too. It's what he taught me. Tristan let out a dry snort, although I doubt he expected to become a victim of his teaching. Remove anything that stands in your way. He stood in mine. Another pause. Once I decided he couldn't teach me anything, I was leaving. I'd seen ships and shuttles through the openings in the canopy. I wanted to go where they went, but he wouldn't let me go. He told me I had to stay, only together could we survive. Even back then, I saw the contradiction. But I didn't understand it. I think I do now. He didn't want to be alone. How? Alex wished he could take it back. It was morbid curiosity. Was it morbid curiosity? Or did he want to see how far he could push this? I don't remember how I killed him. Alex nodded. It was too long ago. I guess he's just one more person you killed. No, he was my father. Tristan breathed deeply. Before Justin kidnapped me, I knew how I'd killed him. It wasn't something I thought about that much, but I remembered it clearly. The drugs changed that. My father made me question how I'd killed them, that I'd even killed them at all. Each time, I remember doing it differently. I remember doing it a different way. Now I can list all the ways I've killed him, but I don't know which is the real one. Alex tried to sort how he felt, how he should feel, how he thought it would be to kill your own father. If Tristan remembered it after all these years, it couldn't have been as simple as just killing him. I'm sorry you had to do that. Tristan buried his muzzle in Alex's hair, breathed in. Thank you, but I'm not. I didn't feel anything when I killed him. The drugs tried to muddle that, but I know I didn't. He wasn't my father, just something in my way. My father wasn't a good man. Maybe he didn't deserve to die. Tristan shrugged. But I doubt the universe would have been a better place if I'd let him live. Alex tried to reconcile his cold-blooded killer with the Somalian who just admitted it was possible he shouldn't have killed someone. What did that mean for their future? He didn't want to think about that right now. Justin didn't seem to be like you, or your father. From the little I gathered about him on the Sayatoga, he surrounded himself with people. I have no idea how, but Justin was more comfortable dealing with people than I am. He sucked at picking the cage's lock, but he could always talk me into doing it for him. Of course, that meant I'd take his place in it once my father found out, and he always did. I'd promised myself the next time Justin was on his own, but he'd open his mouth and I'd pick the lock for him. If nothing else, it was a great training on how to learn to ignore people. They fell silent. Alex relaxed against Tristan, felt comfortable even with the Somalian's body against his, the breathing in his hair. He opened his mouth, but Tristan spoke. I wish Justin wasn't dead. Alex sputtered. How can you say that? He tortured you. I'm pretty sure he tried to have you killed before that. Tristan nodded. Multiple times, but he's still my brother. He's the only family I had left. I never admitted that before, but I enjoyed those games we played. Him trying to have me killed, me taking my revenge. I didn't want that to end, and that's why I never killed him. Gave me something to look forward to, a way to spend time with my brother. That's some screwed up family dynamic. Tristan chuckled. You don't get your typical family being raised by my father. They fell silent again, and this time Alex didn't hesitate. You said you felt something for me from the start, back when we first met, that it's why you didn't kill me then. Is that why you didn't kill Victor? Yes, Tristan paused. Well, maybe. I didn't feel the same for him as I felt for you, but yes, I did care. I think I still do. Something else I'm going to have to process. Alex shivered as Tristan licked his ears. This is why I buried all my emotions. They are so complicated. I'm not going to replace you. This is why I buried all my emotions. They are so complicated. They're so complicated. I'm not going to replace you, if that's what you're worried about. Alex nodded. Alex nodded. You said that you love me. Tristan nibbled on Alex's ear. I do. When? Alex gasped. Tristan let go. When what? When did you know? Alex cursed himself. It isn't important. Why did he have to shatter the mood? It felt Tristan getting excited. I allowed myself to acknowledge I love you when you almost died. When you came to my rescue, How did you know what I did? I regained consciousness as they were about to kill you. The words were tentative. Tristan was keeping something back, almost waiting for Alex to call him out on it. He could. Tristan said he could ask anything, but he wasn't saying it. But if he wasn't saying it, there had to be a good reason, so Alex kept quiet. I reacted without thinking, saved your life. I didn't even think of the consequences to mine, like when I injected you with the cure, but this time I understood what it meant. I can't tell you about before that, because I wasn't equipped to deal with the emotions. You think? Alex clamped his mouth shut to keep anything else from slipping out. Tristan chuckled. I can say I did care, or else would I have kept your hologram? Silence again. I destroyed it. I'm sorry. I can't tell you what lie I told myself to justify keeping it, but it isn't a coincidence you saw it on me when you found me on Therion 2. I never took it off. Tristan's hand was between them, where the diamond would be. Maybe I loved you even then, even if I couldn't admit it. But I definitely did when we went after the virus. It's why I acted like I did. I couldn't accept you were more important to me than my own life. I didn't mean to cause that. Don't, Alex. Don't take the blame for this. There's nothing to to be blamed for. You were yourself, your wonderful self. It was just, I was just too stubborn to see how amazing you were for me. Alex closed his eyes. Words, these were just words. Words were easy for Tristan. They were tools, weapons. He turned to face the Somalian. He needed to figure out if this was a mask, a game. If this was Tristan being cruel. If this was Tristan being cruel. He looked into those beautiful brown eyes and saw none of the calculations. But he couldn't trust that. He'd believe he could tell when Tristan was acting, but how often had that been proven wrong? Not looking away, he placed a hand on Tristan's chest, dug his finger through the fur, rubbed. Tristan's expression didn't change. If anything, his eyes grew warmer. You hate it when I touch you. Does this feel like I hate it? Alex felt Tristan grow harder against his groin. I love it. Always did, which was the problem before. When you touch me, you make me want you. You make me want to hold you, you make me want to fill my life with you. I couldn't have that. I couldn't want something so badly. It was a weakness, and if you ever realized it, you would have used it against me. So I pushed you away, made sure you knew I was the only one to decide when we touched, that I would touch you, never the reverse. I fought the impulse, fought my desire for you until it became too much, and then... Fuck, Alex, I abused you so much. It's okay. He didn't like hearing vulnerability in Tristan's voice. No, Alex, you never wanted that. You settled for it because it was all I'd give you. Tristan buried his muzzle in his neck. You deserve so much fucking more, Alex. Why did you let me do that to you? Even then, you could have stopped me. At least long enough to leave. Why didn't you leave? Again, there was so much he wanted to say. He didn't know if he could trust himself. Do you remember Jack? He looked into Tristan's eyes as he searched for the memory. He's who I pretended to be when we first met. Yes, I fell in love with him. You remember that, right? Tristan looked away and nodded. He's who I was looking for when I found you again. But I showed you it wasn't real. He closed his eyes. I raped you, Alex. Then I beat you. You think I hadn't done worse to myself by then? You were all I had. I destroyed everything behind me to find you, and I was pretty sure it was my imagination, but I thought there was something. Not Jack, but it didn't matter. I stayed because I had nowhere to go. Then there was Emil. To protect him, I gave myself to you, but by then I'd convinced myself that was okay, that whatever little I got from you was better than being alone again. I'm sorry. Tristan licked Alex's cheek. I can probably give him back to you, if that's what you want. You'd have to remind me who he was, but Alex's fingers... I had a finger on Tristan's hip. Don't say that, please. Tristan raised an eyebrow and took the fingers between his lips. Alex fought not to chuckle. I don't want him. I'd probably tear someone that naive apart. I couldn't love someone that soft. I'm not a starry-eyed corporate slave anymore. So I want someone as hard as I had to become. I want you. The uncaring monster who molded me into a weapon, who treated me like an object to use at his leisure. Tristan opened his eyes, but Alex replaced the finger on his lips. Tristan's expression said he considered ignoring the finger, but he nodded. That's who I wanted then, who I'd settle for, like you said, who I'd be willing to continue having if that was all I was offered. But if you're honest in your offer, I want to find out what that means. What if I don't know what that means? What if processing my emotions means I can't be the monster you want? Then I'll take who that is. I'll adjust. We'll adjust together. He dreaded the idea of Tristan would become gentle, too gentle, that they would settle into a quiet life. I just want you, whoever that ends up being. So long as you let me be with you, I'll be happy. He buried his face in Tristan's chest and fought the tears. Tristan held him. Okay, I can do that. I can give you who I'll be, whoever that ends up being. Oops. Alex knew he couldn't make more demands, but he still asked the defender for violence, for his monster. In his mind's eye, he saw the golden-furred Somalian tilt in the air, cross his arm over his chest, a reminder he had to live with what he got. He would. He'd make it work. He just didn't want... What are we going to do about Jacoby? He didn't want to go back there, where everyone was so friendly and pleasant, where Tristan would have no choice but to be nice, too. He's determined to take you back to his town. I'm not going back there. The finality in Tristan's voice comforted Alex. The town's compromise. I should have moved the moment you showed up, if not then, after Emil. But training you was more important. I have other places set up. Tristan was silent. A lot like this, really. Really? Tristan didn't answer immediately. Look around. I don't think I ever left this place behind. Most of my hideouts are in or close to forests. My workshop, a little more. My workshop and a little more. A house, if it's needed for camouflage. Alex rested his head on Tristan's chest. That sounds nice, he yawned. I don't care where we go. He yawned again, his eyes heavy. So long as I'm with you, he slurred with exhaustion. He felt the kiss on top of his head, and the words sounded like they came from far away. Always. So long as you'll have me, I'll be there. Alex smiled as he realized he was falling asleep in the arms of the only person who mattered to him. And that concludes chapter 39 of Once Broken. If you are enjoying this, please leave a like. If you want to know when the next chapter is going to be up, subscribe and hit the bell. If you want to read this story as well as the other books in the series, they are available at all major e-retailers. If you want a different way to support me, that is on my Patreon, where you can also get access to basically everything else I've written. And if you are looking to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. The links are in the notes, and with that, I shall wish you a good day.